Hello my dear students, welcome to the MS Science Academy. Myself Meenu Srivastava, and today we are going to discuss electron microscopy. First of all, we have completed the first unit and this is the last topic of the first unit, that is the electron microscopy. What is the use of electron microscopy and why is it so that if there is a light microscope, then what is the necessity of the electron microscope? This is the main question. The light microscope has certain disadvantages or certain limited criteria so that we cannot give the particular image or proper resolution magnified images of the sample. Okay, so this is the main essentiality that electron microscope gives the proper resolution and proper magnified images. Here as in the light microscope we use the light as a light source. Okay, any kind of the light, white light, sunlight we can use in the light microscope, but in the electron microscope we use the electron beam. In this video I will use the electron like E minus. Okay, so because the electron has the negative charge, the magnified and the resolution power is very high. And what is meant to by the magnified power or magnification power? Magnification power means the enlargement of the image, or enlargement means the particular microscope will how much magnify a particular image. Okay, so this means the magnification means enlargement, and the resolution means the clear image, means the pixel will not blur, means the image will not at all blur, the image is crystal clear and it's high and it's a complete clear image. It's known as the resolution power. Okay, so here the resolution power is inversely proportional to the lambda. Here the lambda of the electron is 0.2 nanometer and it's very less. So if the lambda is less, then the resolution power is high. Okay, now the main thing is that in the electron microscope staining is not at all required. The electron microscope has a two type. First is the scanning electron microscope and second is the transmission electron microscope. We will discuss in two parts. First, in this part we will discuss scanning electron microscope. In the second part we will discuss transmission electron microscope. Here today we will discuss scanning electron microscope. Either in the scanning or the transmission electron microscope we have to prepare the sample or we have to treat the sample in a specified manner. I will prepare a separate video for the preparation of sample. Now first you will see how the electron microscope look. The electron microscope look like this, and in this you will see the electron microscope has one column, one analyzer and the monitor. Now I will describe the electron microscope in the working and the principle, and the working main thing is that through this ray diagram. Here the main is that the electron beam is generated with the help of tungsten wire. The high electricity is flow through the tungsten wire, so the tungsten wire is able to generate the electrons. Here the electron gun you can say, or you can say it as a cathode. In the some book you will see this is the cathode. Here the cathode, when cathode or the tungsten wire will generate the electrons being negative charge particle, they will flow towards the positive, which is the anode. Okay, so to give a proper direction of the electron, here we want one positive grid or positive pole, we can say. Here the anode work like that. Now the anode will attract these electrons and give a proper ray form. Here the anode, after the anode we will attach this we will attach the condenser magnet, or we can say the magnetic lenses are here, which basically focus this electronic beam. Okay, so the magnetic lens or the condenser magnet focus these electronic beams. Okay, now this electronic beam, when we focus, the scanning coils will give a particular direction. Here I will describe the scanning coil. What is the mean of scanning coil? Means what is the function of a scanning coil? Here I want to discuss it. Means, just see here, the magnetic lens or the condenser lens, when focus the electronic beam, the scanning coil will properly pointed that electronic beam towards the specimen. Means the scanning coils will deflect the electronic beam towards each and every point of a specimen. Suppose that if there is no scanning coil, suppose that just remove this scanning coil. When we remove this scanning coil, the magnetic lens, when focus this electronic beam directly towards the specimen, the lens will focus the electronic beam towards this specimen, and only this part will observe. So what will scanning coil do? The scanning coil continuously deflect the beam. Means first deflect the beam this side, 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 this side. Means particular 3D diagram we can observe. Getting my point? That when the scanning coil when deflect the beam, means suppose that the diagram is like that. Okay, the diagram means the specimen is like that. So first of all, the scanning coils deflect the beam on this point. So on the monitor, this image will form. After this form, this form, this form. This, when the deflection will this side. So particular deflection will go and the particular image will form. So I think you can understand the scanning coil deflect the electronic beam in a particular each and every point of the image of the specimen. Okay, suppose that here this is the triangle. I will give you another example. Okay, suppose that there is a triangle. Okay, so when beam will deflect this side, this will form this side, this will form this side, and the proper this point will form. Okay, so proper when the each and every corner, every point, every angle will interact, so the proper image will we will receive. Okay, so a scanning coil scan each, what is the name is it? So scanning coil scan each and every part of the specimen. Okay, so here after the scanning coil, one objective lens, or we can say the magnetic lens, is again attached. What is the use of this magnetic lens or objective lens? It is just above the object, that is why is it named so, the objective lens. And when a scanning coil want to deflect this rays, and that deflection, if the rays is deflected, means the rays is like that. Okay, but the magnetic lens is pointed this lens. Okay, I think you are understanding my point, that after that magnetic lens, first magnetic lens will focus, and due to scanning coil, maybe the ray will disturb. Okay, so again this will again focused with the help of objective lens, second magnetic lens, that is named as the objective lens. And so its function is refocusing the electronic beam. Okay, so refocusing the electronic beam. Okay, now when this refocusing electronic beam enter into the specimen, one thing I am interrupting you, then which I have to discussed earlier, just start as I'm going to as I will I'm starting the video. The first thing is that we have to keep in our mind that in the electron microscope we have to manage the vacuum. Why is it so? Because the air particles can interact the electronic beam. So to prevent the interaction, the further interaction, the air particles and the electronic beam, we have to create the vacuum. If you are if one question arises in your mind, then what happen if the air particles will there and electron beam also there? So electronic beam will interact with the air particles, and maybe the secondary beam or the another further beam will generate, and it will change your image or it will change your result. So to get crystal clear image, we have to we have to maintain the vacuum. Now come to the same point here. When this refocused beam attach or the interact with the specimen, what happen? The specimen image will see. But before observing the image, how we can able to see the image with the help of main three incidents which are going to happen after the interaction of electronic beam. What happen? We will see. In this, when the electronic beam will interact with the specimen, when the electronic beam will interact into the specimen, then three incidents will happen. First, the electronic beam when interact with the specimen, it is named as primary electron. The electronic beam will maybe the thing is that maybe that incidents happen that the electron will interact with the help interact with the specimen, and they again back scattered, means they will deflect. Okay, so these electrons which just strike with the specimen and just bounce back, they are named as back scattered electrons. Here the second is when the electronic beam is interact with the specimen, the secondary electrons will generate. What are the secondary electrons? Suppose that here the electrons are rotating in the shell of atom. Okay, in the shell of atom here. Now when the primary electron will interact, okay, then it will just hit this electron and capture its place. Okay, now when this primary electron capture its place, this electron, that blue electron, means the electron which is already revolving in the shell, just just throw back. Okay, so this electron is known as the secondary electron. Suppose that this electron is revolving in the shell and this electron is the primary electron. This primary electron will hit this electron and just sit on its place and just throw it out of the shell. Okay, so now this electron will remove from the shell, and this electron, which is the primary, previously now become the revolving electron, and this electron will become the secondary electron which was previously revolving in the shell. I think so this point is clear. Okay, so now the secondary electrons will detect with the help of secondary electron detector. Secondary electron detector has one positive charged chip, Now this positive charged chip will attract these negative charged particles, means the negative charged secondary electrons, and they can analyze them, and on the monitor they will show the image. Okay, means on which part they are just generating the electrons. According to the generation of secondary electrons, the image can form. Here the third incidences happen in the form of X-ray. Now what is the X-ray? This incidence will happen after the secondary electrons will emit out. Here the secondary electrons when emit out, the primary electrons will shift in the place of already placed electrons. Okay, so this primary, when the primary electron shift this place, then the outer shell, as we are very well known about that, the primary that upper shell electrons are not at all stable. They want to move in the lower side shell because the lower side shell has less energy and the energetic particle is less stable. Less energy, high stability. High energy, less stability. Keep in your mind. Okay, so now when this primary electron shift in the place of another electron, this electron wants stability. Okay, so this electron wants to move in the lower shell. Okay, so when this electron will move in the lower shell, it losses its energy. Okay, because the lower shell has less energy. So now this electron will form the energy, will remove or release out the energy in the form of photon, and these photon generate X-ray. Okay, these photon generate X-ray. Okay, now here the X-ray detector which is already present in the electronic system, that X-ray detector can detect these X-ray photons and it can analyze that which metal is present in the specimen. Here the specimen stage, here I have shown that the specimen stage, here the secondary electrons, backscattered electrons and the X-ray detectors are present in the form of analyzer. In the analyzer, SE detector means secondary electron detector and X-ray detectors are present. Now this analyzer will attach with the monitor, and on the monitor we can show the image. Now we will discuss about the advantages, disadvantages and the application part of the scanning electron microscopy. Now we will discuss about the application. The application that in electron microscopy we can analyze 3D tissue imaging. Means if we want to take the image of a tissue in a 3D manner, so we can take the image. Okay, now for investigating any microorganism, viruses, cell, insect which has the nanometer range, we can scan that specimen and the resolution, and with the very high resolution and very high magnification power. Now we can study the crystalline structures. Okay, with the help of X-ray detectors and the secondary electron detector, we can analyze the crystalline structure of a compound, of an element also. Here we can examine the surface composition of components and the products. Okay, advantage is meant that the resolution is around resolution of few nanometer. Means if a specimen is very small in the nanometer range, we can see its image in the very high resolved manner. Okay, the biological specimen can be studied. If a metal surface in the form has the corroded surface, okay, so which metal is present in the corrosion surface, or other metal or other compound is formed on the metal surface, we can study. Okay, different elements and compounds can be studied which are present in the sample with the help of X-ray detectors. Okay, but it has some disadvantage. The main disadvantage is that it can scan only the surface. Okay, means if we want to enter, basically the scanning microscope is scan the surface only. Okay, it cannot enter into the image. Okay, we can get the enlarged image with the high resolution power, but we cannot enter into it, but we will enter with the help of transmission electron microscope. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture. If you liked it, please share, subscribe. Please share, subscribe. Okay, thank you.